What up, guys? James from Bolt Bros here. Want to talk about some of the players the Chargers have met with at the Combine and had private workouts with, plus even some coaches that have been at some pro days. So let's just go ahead and get into it, guys. Bolt Bros, let's go.
Bolt Bros!
Once again, guys, appreciate all the support and love. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you've not. We'd love to be able to hear from you also in the comments. So go ahead and throw in some comments and let us know what you think about this video and some of the other players maybe that we've missed so far. There is a lot of research trying to find which players the Chargers have met with. It's kind of a tough thing to be able to figure out. We're in that point after the Combine that a lot of pro days are happening. So scouts show up to pro days. They could meet and greet players. They could also request private workouts and such. So it's very fun to be able to see kind of who we're looking at and potentially who we are going to draft. It's kind of fun to be able to do this because it might get us a glimpse of who we're really trying to target up to the draft, leading to almost about a month from today. So once again, guys, let's jump into it. So first player that we're going to chat about here is Edan Cooper, Texas A&M linebacker. Very, very solid run or linebacker versus the run and pass, all around a very, very good linebacker. We had a private workout with him too, so we definitely are giving a good hard look at him. 4.51 speed, could cover running backs, tight ends, effective as a Tampa 2 drop back and spy, effective as a pass rusher, getting 10 sacks his senior year, and really known as a Swiss Army knife. Probably more of a second round kind of guy, but a very good linebacker to add to our core. Once again, he'll be a second round kind of guy. We obviously have Denzel Perryman, who's kind of a Swiss Army knife kind of guy. This could be a really great addition to the linebacker room that is obviously very depleted right now. I definitely want to be able to see Hensley on the field and to be able to see him out there doing his thing. But once again, we need to add more depth all around. So this could be a great addition to this team all around. So we'll see where it leads. We'll see where it leads from here. Also, Jaylen Ford, Texas linebacker. Now, once again, I don't necessarily have a specific meeting with him, but Navarro Bowman, our linebacker coach, was at the pro day, and on his Instagram, he basically said, looking for the next great linebacker. Now, Jaylen Ford might be one of those guys that you kind of fit into the scheme at some level, but it also seems like he's more of a late round kind of pick guy. So very good box kind of linebacker, very good on run defense, which seems to be a big emphasis in the linebacking side of things. A bit inconsistent on pass coverage, where he had a QB rating as a sophomore of 128, which is not good. Junior year at 65.2. For whatever he was doing during his junior year, he was great against the pass. But then a senior quarterback rating at 99. So it's kind of an inconsistent, thing with him against the pass, but he also did a very good job versus the run defense. Once again, we do have a very good D-line, and we could add more pieces to that too. But at the same side, we need guys that could actually stop the run and make it harder for them to pass on us. But then if you have a terrible pass defense, you could kind of, pass at will on us, which is not good. Now, once again, being at the pro day, Navarro Bowman being there doesn't mean that he's not just looking at linebackers. There's also other people that could be there, as in anybody on our coaching staff. Anybody on that team we could even be looking at too. You don't just look at one player, right? And even to say this too, we also met with Jatavian Sanders was another guy that we ended up meeting with, the tight end. So once again, that's been a guy that we've talked a lot about in the second round side of things, where he could fit extremely well for us as a pass catcher. Now, once again, he's a very good pass catcher kind of guy, but he is kind of one of those guys where he's not the best at blocking. I do feel that that's going to be one of those guys that we could target. He is more of a second round kind of guy, possibly third round, but an absolutely great pass catching guy. So who knows where they're at? I know his blocking side of things, he didn't do great for his junior year, gave up 4 pressures on 3 sacks. He did also have a 4.69 40 at combine. So we'll see where that kind of leads there with him. So moving on. Florida State, my guy. This guy, man, killed it at the Senior Bowl. I was pretty excited about watching him. He was a very, very stout, very aggressive guy. Brandon Fisk from Florida State. We had a private workout with him. Shot up the boards after the Senior Bowl game. 6'4", 292-pound kind of guy. High motor, physical, fast. I feel like that's the three, attributes that Jim Harbaugh really wants to find in his players. Just high motor guys, physical, fast, beat you up. Just all around strong players. 4.78 speed. He did have on his senior year 32 quarterback hurries, 5 quarterback hits, and 6 sacks. Pretty consistent numbers through his junior year too. So very, very good player. And he went from, I remember even seeing him in the 4th round to where it seems like he's getting more in the 2nd to 3rd round now. So he's done really, really well to be able to shoot up these boards all around. So great to see him. Brandon Fisk, we had a private workout with him. Now, moving on, we ended up having a meeting with Brendan Rice. This one is kind of more, we had some guys there. We had some coaches there. Not sure who it specifically was, but he did have a visit on his pro day. He did say on camera that he did meet with the Chargers. Once again, guys, I'm not going to talk too heavily about Brendan Rice, but I do think if you watch his footage, the guy knows how to run routes and how to get open. And once again, I'm a big fan of pedigree. Obviously, his dad's Jerry Rice, one of the best route runners out there. Not the most fastest guy, but just phenomenal route runner. If you watch Brendan Rice in a lot of his footage, he could get open deep, and he could be that out guy for you. He could be that guy downfield to be able to get to you. He could potentially be that Keenan Allen kind of guy, high possession kind of guy to be able to get open when necessary. This guy, to me, I think could be a very, very big sleeper in this draft. I think he's a guy that you could really go after late in the draft, possibly 4th roundish, which we have 2 picks in there. I think it's a great round for running back and a wide receiver too. It could be one of those guys you go after at that point. And it's a local guy too. Another guy grabbing from USC. It worked out well with Thule, right? Let's go after another one. And a lot of USC wide receivers have been working out really well recently. So why not? Let's go. Brendan Rice. Moving on. So Brock Bowers, we have met with him at the Combine. Simple interview. I'm not going to really elaborate too much. Everybody knows about Brock Bowers. Great pass catcher. Possibly a little questionable on blocking. I've seen some videos where he's pretty solid at blocking. But guys, he can be a phenomenal player. Do we draft him at 5? Probably not. We would have to probably draft him later on because of salary situations. Great player, no doubt. Now, we just don't probably draft a tight end at 5 and pay him top money at a tight end as a rookie. So who knows? Moving on. Roma Duze, we did meet with him at the Combine. Obviously, great route runner, very good player all around, had some very solid seasons all around. A good yak guy for you, downfield threat, solid wide receiver all around. Do we draft him at 5? Well, we probably will be at Marvin Harrison Jr. or it's going to be Malik Neighbors. It's going to be either of those two if we do go wide out and stick at 5. If we go wide receiver, Rome's probably a little bit more on the back end of the top 10 type picks, but great receiver all around. Moving on. This guy right here, Talusi Fuaga, right tackle, Oregon State. We met with him at the Combine. I love this dude. This guy's an absolute stud. Just a mean poly dude. This guy, once again, he's got a mullet. He's up to no good, and he's going to be aggressive all around. So poly with a mullet, problems for sure. This guy's awesome to watch. I mean, he just mauls players. He plays through the whistle, which I've been saying for a long time. This Chargers team needs a mean kind of player, a guy that just plays through the whistle. I always felt like the Chargers always had the ability to just kind of play through the play. Okay, the guy's got the ball. Let him go do his thing. This guy wants to hit people. This guy wants to move people. He is a body mover all around. This guy's awesome. And this would be a player you'd probably pick if we moved back to, say, the 11 pick with the Vikings or whatnot. This would be an awesome move, and I think he fits to a T to what Jim Harbaugh looks in a player. Great player all around. Now, here we go. We got this one. No surprise, guys. We did have Jesse Minter, Ben Herbert, and Jim Harbaugh at the Michigan Pro Day. Now, and actually Andy Bishkoff, too, as the tight end coach in attendance. So, basically what that means is that we're probably looking at all the players there. And once again, Jim Harbaugh, Jesse Minter, and even Ben Herbert know all these guys anyway. So you got to just put any type of player that's on Michigan in the spotlight as a potential target for this team. We did have a private workout with Blake Corum, the running back. Now, A lot of us have talked a ton about Blake Corum. Great running back all around. We're going to find a way to get some Michigan players on the team. And Blake Corum, even on record, has even said, hey, if we go ahead and draft Blake, we'll win a Super Bowl kind of thing. I mean, you're going to want to get a system guy and a guy that's been in the system with Jim Harbaugh, knows how he coaches. He would be a great fit for this team. He is a kind of a smaller back, but he plays bigger than his size. He could be a great pickup for us. I'd probably say he could possibly get in the back end of the second round, probably a third round kind of area. Do we draft in that area? Is that early for a running back for us? I'm not sure, but Blake Corum was a guy that we did meet with. Now, moving on, going to J.C. Latham, tackle out of Alabama. We worked out. Now, once again, it's kind of like a private workout. I think it's a private workout. I saw video footage of Mike Devlin, our O-line coach, working individually with him. So I'm assuming that's a private workout all around. This guy is a big dude, 6'6", 350, just a big hoss, man. Right tackle for the last 2 years and a stout tackle that is reliable anchor to lock down his assignment. This guy just put your hands on him, on whoever's in front of him, and just holds him there. Great tackle to work with. Bigger guy, but can really move his feet. Could be a very reliable guy in the run game and pass game. All around, very solid player all around. So once again, he's kind of more a top 15-ish kind of area for him. So once again, a trade back will probably be there. If we stick at 5, probably won't be the guy. So moving on. Let's see here. We got, no, this one is a little bit more. I just know that Chris O'Leary, defensive back coach, our defensive back coach for the Chargers, was on hand for Missouri's Pro Day, which includes Enos Rinkenshaw, Chris Abrams, Drain, cornerbacks. Both seem like cornerbacks that'll be around the second or third round, potentially in the fourth for Drain. Both of these cornerbacks are solid on man, press, and tackling, which is, I really feel that is a necessary, trait that we need in our cornerbacks. We need guys that can just be at the line, press on the player, do bottom line tackle. How many times do we see missed tackles? I mean, I could think of, Michael Davis basically hitting a player and ending a drive, and then basically that player just drills right through him, gets a first down, basically end up winning that game. I want to say that might have been the Ravens game for last year, but either way, it seems too often that we just do not have guys that could tackle all around. It's very frustrating to watch. So basically with the two players here, Drain being the faster of the two with about a 40 time of 4.44, with Rakeshaw being at a 4.51. Both could be very good cornerbacks for us. They just have to be able to press, be on solid on man-to-man, and tackle. Those are the 3 traits that we definitely need to have. Speed, obviously, is very good in the cornerback side of things. You don't want to get burned. But Chris O'Leary, our defensive back coach for the Chargers, was on hand for Missouri's Pro Day. So keep in mind, any of those players involved with that team could have been targets that they were watching. Now, moving on here. So this one's an interesting one. I didn't really realize that's one till recently. Trevon Wallace, linebacker from Kentucky, has been getting a lot of looks from a lot of different teams. Steelers being one of them that I saw too. I think even the Patriots were even looking at him. Chargers met him at the combine. So he's a 6'1", linebacker, 237 linebacker, kind of, I think at the combine weighed at like 245-ish, but then he kind of dropped his weight to 237. Huge range as a linebacker, very speedy kind of linebacker. He reportedly ran at 22 miles per hour, does have a 4.52, which is great speed. His RAS score, his overall athletic score, was about 9.65, which ranks about 95 out of 2,649 linebackers since 1987 that have gone through that RAS score breakdown. Pretty good, very highly ranked all around in that side. Now, RAS score doesn't necessarily equate everything on the field, but at the same side, this guy knows what he's doing, and he's definitely trending very well in a lot of the athletic score, side of things. Seeing more as like a day 3 pick. Sure, tackler, has good instincts for the run, which is a trait that obviously I think Jim Harbaugh is really looking at, and does have some special teams ability. This could be kind of one of those late round kind of sleeper guys that could really pan out very well for us. And obviously I think we need to find some more special teams guys, and this could be one of those guys that could kind of grow a little bit more into this team. So, but Trevon Wallace, linebacker, met with the Chargers at the combine. Moving on. Now, this one is an interesting one. This one, I don't think I really heard too much about him. Watched a lot of videos about him, but Mason Pline, tight end from Furman University. This guy is massive, 6'7", 260. I feel like that's a great size with a tight end position for us. I do feel like we're trying to get to more of that 260, tall, just giant dudes on the end. Guys that could just be grinders for us on the edge. Help out that O-line all around. The thing I love about this guy, and I think all Chargers fans would get excited about this. When I read a little bit more about him, he played basketball before moving to football. Who does that remind you of? Now, he obviously played in college ball. He played football. But Antonio Gates was a guy that was a basketball player for Kent State. After that, they said, hey, man, you're probably not going to go to the NBA. Try out football. Went to the Chargers, and guess what? Hall of Famer, guys. Now, I'm not saying Mason Pline's going to be a Hall of Famer by any means, but when you watch his footage, there is a lot to love about this guy. There is a lot to love about him. He really kind of has that knack to be able to utilize his body, kind of boxing out players, just like what you do in basketball, and find ways to be able to get open. He kind of even has some shades of a little bit of like a Travis Kelce in a sense. He doesn't seem like he's that great in the blocking side, but he does a very good job of getting open in any type of route, short route, mid routes, deep routes. He does a phenomenal job all around. So now, once again, he's one of those guys that you're not probably saying you're putting a high round pick on him. He's probably more of a back end kind of guy. But this guy, Mason Pline, I keep an eye out on him. I'm excited about him. But watch his YouTube highlights, guys. He looked really good. So once again, guys, these are just some of the players that I've seen that the Chargers have met with, or at least I may be speculating some of our coaches met with them at pro days and such. But all around, guys, I'm excited about the draft. I mean, once again, there's a lot of holes that got to get filled on this team. And I'm excited to see where the Chargers go here. And there's a ton of talent all around with this draft. So love to see it, guys. Excited about all the moves the Chargers have been making, and I'm looking forward to the next moves that they're making. So once again, guys, want to hear your guys' thoughts on any of these players that we chatted about, and if there's a player that we did end up missing about that the Chargers have actually met with. So once again, guys, throw some comments in below. Love to be able to hear from you guys. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not. Once again, guys, James from Bolt Bros. Let's go.